Is that everything now? Anyone else have any issues with the agenda? Okay, I'm gonna take the gay agenda as a no. No one else has any issues with the agenda. Um. Okay, yeah, let's move on. No one else seems to have. Oh, never mind. I posted something in Minecraft chat. Right. Firstly, what basically kicked off this whole meeting and tensions was formerly Hadar, now Myrak, also known as the Empire, declared tariffs on the Wishlight Kingdom. Following. What do you mean let you log on? Oh, wait until you log on. Will that be long? Or
Is there an actual meeting spot that we're supposed to go to in the server?
in Minecraft, yeah, but
All right, can I just hop on there then, real quick?
yeah.
Coolio.
I hope that teleport wasn't unwarranted.
God, it is lagging.
Can I stream? My Wi-Fi might crash. I also don't know if I can do that on stage, but hey, I'll try, alright? There you go, that might help. Okay. I'm gonna move on now. Hopefully 7 minutes is enough to spend on the first point in the agenda. This meeting should take just over like an hour if we keep up the pace. Yeah, I'm gonna move on. This meeting was spurred on by the former Hadar government putting tariffs onto the number one is resolved, yes, the Hunter. The former Hadar government putting tariffs on the Wishlight Kingdom, which then spurred countries like Adarius and the Stella Assembly responding with their own forms of economic engagement, which then spurred on Polaris to threaten economic activity. And I believe we just want to come up with a solution for this to hopefully mean that, we won't fall into a global trade war. However, I'm aware that times have changed. I don't know how it's pronounced. Your guess is as good as mine. But my my tariffs are still in place. No, my quotas are still in place, and as far as I can tell, the Stella Assembly's embargo is still in place. As for the other two nations, I don't know what they're doing with the economic side of things. I thought we'd just touch on this to maybe, not devolve the world into a global trade war. If anyone has any ideas or comments. This is the time where you'd click I don't know what it is. It's like put your hand up, request to speak. That's it. Or in Hunter's case, use Minecraft chat. So yeah, Polaris's agreement is not in effect at the moment, but it is there. We're gonna get Owlman up first. Sorry, Hunter. Welcome, Owlman.
I propose sanctions for anyone who implements tariffs.
Okay, we've got sanctions on anyone who imposes tariffs. Could you develop a bit further? Maybe just like the legal sanction anyone who puts tariffs.
Pure economic isolation of them.
We're gonna get
If
Jesus
they
up to
don't want to
counterpoint.
involve world trade with them, then world trade shouldn't involve itself with them either.
Hey, look, I'm up on the stage. Um, like, okay, so if I don't know, tariff you, I get tariffed back by like
Yeah,
everyone.
everyone
Is
in
that what
the
you're asking?
world, well, league.
Okay, cool.
At least that's what
I
it
don't.
seems like. Welcome, Hunter.
Oh, I guess. Okay, I guess we're all standing up here. I'm gonna mute myself.
Um, does anyone have any thoughts on this
Okay, I'm just gonna
responded
I'm just gonna
sanctions?
quickly state more publicly exactly what's going on. Polaris's policy is
I don't
that
think it's a good idea.
Polaris's policy are that those who enact economic sanctions against its ally will have limited economic activity. By that I mean people who place economic sanctions on any of Polaris's allies will not be allowed to transport through Polarian waters. This is not a goods thing. It's not the refusal of all services. Just that global shipping cannot go through Polaris if you are negatively affecting Polaris's allies. This currently is no one. It would only
Well,
affect.
this is less of a
It would not affect anybody.
I don't know if TTS bot is gonna work. By the way,
So,
worst case scenario, I can just transcribe or
uh,
something. Oh yeah, no, I
since
cannot hear Hunter
Ruver
at all.
has not.
Yeah, either can I. I was about to say.
I just didn't want to be the one to bring it up.
Um, maybe we shouldn't punish tariffs with tariffs like mandatory. Maybe
Yeah,
more tariffs for war.
how will it affect
Like
non-league
if
nations? I guess I don't know. I think that's a stupid idea because like Adarius put tariffs onto Hadar because we were worried about our own economic stability and wanted to take action as a form of outrage that Hadar was trying to
I
be
do want to
imperialist
say
against the
something.
Wishlight Kingdom.
May I say something real quick?
And, like at least it's my belief that sanctions are sometimes necessary for events like that where we don't want to just go to war over nothing.
exactly.
Um. So anyone, I think that idea for sanctions on anyone who puts tariffs on any country ever is a poor idea.
I'm gonna go back down. I've said everything.
From the support I'm seeing, I'm assuming everyone feels the same.
I'm gonna go
Alright,
back
thank you,
down.
Hunter.
Polaris is not yet formal allies with Merak, and so tariffs against Merak will not have anything.
It's fine. So no one, we're all in agreement
I
that
don't
idea
know.
sucks.
I don't know how to go back down.
I got you, don't worry. Okay, well I don't. The vote for now seems to be one in favor being Alman, one abstaining, and many going against. So I'm going to move on. I believe that we should probably try solve this. Maybe like the form of mediation, which is what this is, where we. How do I explain it? I don't know, like a treaty of sorts, being like, Meraki economic activity will, or I guess the Meraki government will not impose economic threats on other countries in theme of its imperial. Well, it won't try use its economy to influence other countries like the Wishlight Kingdom as it did before, and in turn, Adarius and the Sabbath Assembly will take off their economic actions. That's my proposal, at least, or at least a treaty of the sorts. Any comments or replies or? I'm gonna put that to a poll then if no one has anything to say at all. Oh. Hang on, Alman wants to speak. Welcome, Alman. Slavery is also on the agenda. That's a proposal. It's slot number 8 at the moment. Hello,
What
Alman.
X vote think?
Sorry? What was that?
The vote on the agenda on number 3.
What about it?
Where is that road?
Kind of along the coast. If you imagine starting from Dina, going south all the way down through to the Estella Assembly, it kind of
Right.
goes through all those countries. And then for the former Haydar government, portion of the road, in the former Holy Golden Empire lands. And then I just think that's a bad idea.
I say that road should be put under its rightful and legal owners.
Well, technically, it's owned by the league because the league voted for it, but we also need, we don't have any current legislation on it. Hence, I wanted to draft some.
I think paying reparations to the league to be divided upon league members would be a good idea.
All we have on point number 2, economic tensions. No one has any pointers on that. No objections. Okay, cool. We're gonna move on to the next point.
Can I speak? Do I have to raise
Oh.
my hand to speak? Or can I just
I mean, you're
fuck
already
up?
up here, so
Great. Listen. They're inside of Moroccan land. They are a part of the Empire. The Empire should have jurisdiction and legal authority to do whatever the fuck they want to it. They're free passage for anybody. It's just that you gotta abide by the Empire's laws. That's it. That's all that we're in placing.
I suppose that might just make the most sense to be like.
Is this
fair
legal
to all.
authority over that land you illegally occupy, or?
We didn't illegally occupy. You voted to build the road. It's just we never actually drafted legislation in who controls the road. Which is what we aim to do today. I guess the most logical would be that. Oh, we have Jesus coming up. Husband as well. Welcome, Jesus. Welcome, husband.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hi. I believe the road should kind of work as like an international zone. You know, kind of like how airports work. Like if you're gay and you have to like emergency land in Saudi Arabia, they won't just like kill you. You know.
I also think it should be an international zone. I think that's most fair, considering the legislation at the time of building it. I guess we were here to vote on it.
Obviously not like you shouldn't
Also
like
has, I see your suggestion.
bring your
on
military troops up the roads. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
yeah,
I think
that makes sense.
Oh wait, people are using Minecraft chat. I just realized.
Yeah.
I agree with Light and Jesus that it should be managed by the league and just an international zone of neutrality. But I guess I'll put it to a poll. Oh, welcome, Hunter. I don't know how
we are
neutral
going to
parties
cause
work other than just like letting someone annex all the lands.
Hi, we're going to
which the road
cause
is
a
on.
Yellowstone zone of death if you do this.
How so?
What?
The Yellowstone Zone of Death is an area where no particular state has control and thus no crimes committed can be prosecuted. Since there is no international law, having this be international land would make all crimes on the road legal.
Or we could just draft international law.
Yeah, well, just it's not that
The
deep.
whole point of this
We
thing.
need. Then
I
we need
Yeah.
to
mean, I guess
call another
at least
meeting.
on the road you
and-
do have to fish.
What?
If you are on the road,
Yeah,
you have
yeah,
to,
you do
to-
have to
Whose
fish.
laws do you obey?
There's a
to catch-
fishing quota if you're on the road.
on the road. Whose laws
You
do you
abide
obey?
the
You
law.
obey by the Empire's rules, the Empire's laws. That's what you do.
Okay.
Oh my
I
god,
make-
the thing's
not
may
working.
I make my suggestion?
Wipe my shiny metal ass.
I think that on the road, you should obey the individual laws of the nation you are within. But if you want to seize full control of an area of road, you need to be ready to pay for it to be repaved, or if it needs reparations at any time. The League no longer has any responsibility to maintain a road that is not part of theirs. So it becomes your road, but you lose access to any League funding to maintain it.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Which seems
Look,
reasonable.
I don't think the league would fund people when they literally, you know, but like, and also I think it limits the whole point of it's supposed to like, but since you have the moment, uh,
Default, you're lagging.
I am great. Okay, one moment.
I don't think it would be particularly fair to say that any nation has to obey the laws of another nation.
I think it should be completely under the league's control,
If it is under the League's control,
and any change to the list of laws, should go under like 2 rounds of voting.
Okay, that should fix the lag. Where was I?
what my issue
If
with
the
it
local
being
government
under
takes
control-
control of the road,
my issue with this is that for some nations, I don't feel like the fact that it would be international land was discussed. So, the road.
well, that's what I said. It was
Run-
it was our fault that we never came up with proper legislation,
Yeah.
and that's what we're here to fix now.
That's what my
But-
issue is that saying that the land of the road is being taken from these countries and turned into a zone where people do not have to obey the country's law feels wrong to say. Yes, there is some international
I think it feels
law.
right.
I also think it feels wrong that if someone wants to use the road, then they have to, go through all these different countries, presumably get visas and whatnot, as well as abide by their laws. Like, what if?
They could. All right. Just proposition. They could just pass through the fucking road as long as they don't break laws.
Secondary recommend.
It
secondary
is-
note.
Yeah.
Do the country's laws
It's got
obey?
that.
Do a country's laws apply to its waters?
Yeah.
So
It's a fucking
why-
path. It's a path. What?
So
Are
why
you daft?
why would we say that the waters around a country act differently than a road through it? All those
Well, the
issues
road-
that you're listing that apply to the road would also apply to the waters, but we already
The
have
whole
established.
idea of the road is that people have the freedom of movement and have the opportunity to go see or work wherever they want.
We don't have
welcome
freedom of
evicting- What? But a lot of more people would have the ability to walk along a road than they would have to swim.
What I'm saying
And
is
I
that
think it would just
why
ruin-
would we have different legislature for who controls the water and who controls the road? Why does
Well,
the road
obviously,
go
Why
through
is there?
the-
Oh, quick question, Mr. Hunter. Mr. Hunter, the glorious intellect that you are. Why is there multiple branches of every military for air,
What I'm saying is
ground,
that they
and
both
sea,
allow
and
move-
space, and
They both allow
Nah,
movement through a country,
different
right?
divisions? I wasn't done speaking.
No, I wasn't done speaking either, and you interrupted
I
me
would
with my
not.
statement.
Okay,
I'm
can we-
Because
saying-
you're
can we hear
just
from Jesus
you're
first?
just
What I'm
redundant.
saying,
I would
Because
like
you're just in a circle.
we get one
Yeah,
voice at the time.
I don't
please.
think
But that's why you're
that
supposed
the
to kick
road
us off the
should-
top.
I don't think that the road should be considered this international ground where you don't have to obey the laws of a nation. Because that way you could
No,
commit a crime
and
in the nation, step
Jesus,
on the
you're a
road, and you're
rebuttal.
unprosecutable.
Okay, thank you for that, Hunter. Jesus, your rebuttal.
That's not what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, if you're, I'm not bothered. Just do what you want.
Evicting, I did like improve your request to come up to the stage. I think you have to press a button. You see, my only issue is that, like, obviously, if someone's an international criminal, then obviously that's going to, change something. But if a country has very specific laws that may oppress that person, then that defeats the whole point of the road. Like, if I want to get from, I don't know, pure random example, I want to get to the Stella Assembly from Polaris, and I have to travel through the Wishlight Kingdom, but the Wishlight Kingdom has laws which bans me from going through their lands. But both the rest of the countries on the road are fine. Then what's the point of the road? You know? We're getting evictings here, and we're getting Alman up in a moment. Welcome, Alman, and evicting.
It
Yeah,
should be subject to the country of which they lay in.
Okay, well, we have 4 suggestions thus far. Any more last minute ideas other than kill all the people on the road?
It's great. It's a great suggestion.
Hit me.
Anyways, basically just what I said in Minecraft chat.
I imagine if it's owned by the nation, like, I really don't imagine if the nation owns it, the league would pay for it. But then again, I guess the EU does pay for motorways, and motorways are maintained by, like, you're driving on the left side if you're in Ireland, and that's not the EU law per se. I'm gonna get Jesus up to speak now.
Am I here? Okay.
Welcome.
Hi. The road will not work if it's not internationally owned.
And also, I think more roads will just ruin it, because if someone, like, I've seen people travel the road and there's like a split off, literally just to go to someone's house, and they get confused and like, I'm lost. It's not really. Sure, it's getting more
But
places,
just
but it's
put
confusing.
signs on your road.
It is sign, and they still got confused.
Yeah.
But
Point.
I guess I'll
The
put
more
all now.
More roads and more signs.
Great for America.
Yeah, more roads, more signs, sure.
More
but
walls!
I feel like okay, Jesus Christ. Maybe we have something that kind of is more like anti-discrimination that we all have to abide by.
Maybe like a set of laws, like murder
Like,
or
sure.
like terrorists.
Yeah,
are just
no,
banned.
definitely.
But things like, I don't know,
It
if
should
your
not be
country
as
bans a certain religion, then that doesn't apply in the law. Like the laws of the road, essentially. If they're just passing through, of course. If they
Hunter
like
Hunter
leave
keeps
the
saying
road. Like if let's say for example in Polaris I'm banned because I don't know, I petty theft, like I stole food. If I stop in Polaris, then I'm a subject to Polaris's laws. But if I keep going through the road, then I am not. Something like that where, terrorists are stopped. No, when I kill the king, that's terrorism. I should be subject to a court if I've killed the king. But if it's something small that I just don't want to even stop in Polaris for, I shouldn't be arrested in Polaris. Alman, we're gonna have you up now. Alman, we're gonna have you up again.
well, he's
It's
okay.
merely
That's
for
always
abuse and the road's just being used by pirates, see?
We're not robots. If there's abuse, then we can see that there is abuse, and then we use it. Then we can stop it. Actions taken in a country are prosecutable by the nation. A nation's military should be allowed on the road that goes through their territory to upkeep international law. That also brings up a good point that I don't think military should be allowed on the road. I don't think my military should be in Polaris as part of the road. But I guess that goes back to the local governments thing, and it's a whole weird debate. We're gonna get Light up now. Hello, Light.
Hi. I know the United States is not good for anything. But at least when something happens in one state and you commit a law in one state, the state that you're in can't prosecute you for the law that you committed in the other state. You have to be transferred over to that nation. So if you're caught and captured in Texas with a warrant out in Florida, you have to be transferred over to Florida. Because you can't serve out your time in Texas, because that's not how that works. You didn't commit the law in Texas, but they can arrest you for it.
Let's say you commit a crime in Texas, and I actually don't know U.S. geography. Let's say you commit a crime in California, and you're currently in Nevada, and you want to go through California northwards to Washington. You shouldn't. In this example, I don't think we should be subject to the California courts just because you're passing through. If you stop in it, then I guess fair ground.
Yeah, no, you can travel between all states as long as you're not caught. If you're caught,
like
it's a
in
whole
this
other
scenario,
ballgame.
in the realm, instead of just being like you enter
I honestly
Polaris
feel
or
like
California or whatever, you're immediately over. I think if you're passing through, then don't
Yeah,
ask, don't tell.
I honestly feel like if you aren't caught in another nation doing something and you aren't, let's say, detained or arrested or whatever you want to call it in that nation, it should not matter because they don't know.
Yeah,
You shouldn't. Yeah, if you go up to their border and try to enter, then it shouldn't be
and
a
that's why I
problem.
think an international zone would work. Like, you still own it, but like the league technically has jurisdiction there, and the league has the responsibility, or I guess the responsibility to give over extreme criminal cases to the local government. But I think that's all the suggestions we had for like the solutions, quote unquote, to the road issue.
Well, if
So-
if they commit a crime in Polaris and then they want, should they be prosecuted under league court, like something like that, maybe
Polaris Court,
that
like,
work?
I'd say
No, but like, and they use the Orvex road to then escape and like then commit more crimes in other countries in this scenario, and they keep using, like, would that be more
well, if it's an abuse case, then I feel like
international?
they should be taken to court. Like we can obviously see that they are abusing it, and then we can just
I don't know.
stop it. Anyway, I think that's.
How do I step down from the stage?
I don't know. I'm making the poll real quick. Actually, before I make the poll, before anyone else debates, does anyone have any other suggestions before I do the final four, which are right here, which is international zone, or local government, or neutral party, or more roads? And then I'll make
more roads.
No, I'm not asking for your opinion. I'm asking, does anyone else have any other solutions? Welcome, Alman.
What? Wait, no, real quick.
Yeah.
How does more roads
Make
contribute to this?
multi options, please.
Because then people.
I feel like
can go
more
around.
roads.
Hey, that was the solution someone had. We can debate it now, but like I'm just gonna lock in the poll and then we can continue to debate because you can change your answer in a poll.
More roads would help because that means that there's more roads. Okay, and what that means is that there's more places to go, and that means that there's more roads. You gotta think.
Local government. What was it? Neutral party.
I think
more roads.
international zone with more roads could be great.
Excuse me.
Just label the roads.
Listen, honestly, can we just have
the
more
poll
roads
is
as an
in the poll
independent
chat.
thing? Okay.
I see the logic of more roads where, like, if someone is an outlaw in one country but not the other two, they can just use the next third road to go around that country and avoid the issue altogether. But I do like the idea of one mega highway connecting the whole world together. But like I said, polls is in that. If anyone wants to debate, you're welcome to do so now, unless we're going to move on to topic number 3. I guess, yeah, number 3. No, topic number 4. Yeah, thank you, Hunter. No? No one? Going once, going twice? Okay, recently, and I mean very recently, Polaris and Apple Core have been, for lack of better words, at each other's throats. And that was recently on and off. We're going to get Hunter up now to speak his mind on the situation. Welcome, Hunter.
Okay, so I feel like I should probably give the prerequisite of explaining what Polaris's reasoning was. and why they re-sparked recently. The original reasoning was Polaris is worried about the spread of apple core fever, which at the time was uncurable and easily spreadable. Apple core fever spreads from a specific flower. Most countries maintain and keep away the fever by just burning the plants when they emerge. Apple core made these plants holy and consequently infected their entire population with the virus. They are now immune to the virus but can carry it to other nations. In the pursuit of their illegal drug trade, they had refused all attempts to sanitize their imports. So, the quarantine was enforced, and eventually this escalated to war due to their refusal to basically sanitize their goods or in any way, shape, or form work towards peace. Now, fairly recently, a deal did come up, but shortly thereafter fell through, where I would pay 45 diamonds for them to sanitize their imports and for them to recognize the Dinian colony in the area. Due to situations, I no longer wanted peace with Apple Core due to the fact that they were causing several issues within my nation and the fact that they wanted me to pay. So the deal fell through and we're back at each other's throats.
Alright, and we're gonna get Haz up to speak now.
Hasbin doesn't speak.
Little Haz. And type.
Has been up to type. Yeah, the last
So
part about
apparently the last part about the Dina colony was nothing to do with the treaty.
They also I
guess I'll let these two duke it out.
aforemention that one of their requirements for sanitizing their imports was 20 diamonds and for me to renounce Dinya entirely for their colony, which I did not want to do because you know what, me and Dinya are on fairly good terms.
Get Alman up to add fuel to the fire.
Do what you
Could someone just tell me what you guys
Yes,
were
bot
talking
is not
about?
working. I was trying to fix it, Light.
Apple Core doesn't like your
sorry, you
colony
were saying Alman?
in the Neon Coast. They wanted me to either denounce you or pay
Well, I'm
you
aware
for them
of
to
that.
recognize it. No, but they wouldn't accept the sanitization
Hey.
unless I denounced you. So I had to pay 25 more diamonds to get them to sanitize their goods if I wanted to not renounce you. Which doesn't sound like the best deal to me, especially for for something that was just going to lead to more conflict later on.
Hey, dog, you can't colonize land next to someone else and not expect them to do the same in a tiny little area.
Thank you, Alman. What even is the agenda point on this? What?
It was
the tensions.
mediating
Yes,
it.
yes, yes. I guess we wanted to. Okay,
Mediate it.
okay. We'll move to this later. Everyone, sit down. We can. I just want to discuss my thoughts on this as a very active member. I thought a form of mediation. Personally, I thought because this all stems from the Apple Cork fever. I thought that maybe Polaris could put up customs, and before we start arguing about colonies and land claims and whatnot, if Polaris really wants to quarantine Apple Core, I don't think he should enforce his will by taking over Apple Core and not taking over, but placing troops on or in the borders, and seizing all the ships and their goods. I think maybe the League could help. The League could help fund or support or sponsor a customs border in the port of Polaris or even the boards. As well as we could help try fund the Apple Cork fever cure, which I believe the Wishlight Kingdom has recently made. I think this is a good compromise and will prevent needless deaths in a frankly stupid war. We're gonna get Alman up to speak now, hopefully about the fever and not the colony. Welcome, Alman.
I think we should keep the cure out of Apple Core.
Thank you, Alman. We're gonna get a Hunter up to speak now, followed by Light afterwards. Hang on, there's stuff happening in chat, but there's a cat on my desk. Hunter,
Why can't I accept?
yeah, Hunter,
It wouldn't let me accept.
Hey, yo, welcome, Hunter.
Wouldn't let me accept. Oh God, 4 message. Oh God.
Oh my God, the chat.
Oh God. Oh Lord.
Welcome, Hunter. Welcome, a lot of Hunter.
Anyways, so I want to mention something that isn't being addressed. Is that Has-Been has at every turn rejected any offer to get rid of the virus. They are intentionally growing it in their capital.
Well, that's why
they have
will
rejected
mediate and
the cure.
enforce that they. Apple Core isn't a league member, but we could
Apple
sweeten
Core
the deal
is a group of
with
drug
diamonds or
smugglers who have rejected
netherite
any offer.
or gold or
And I don't want to
Engines.
bend the knee
Well,
to
that's why
somebody who is
you could offer
intentionally growing a virus.
an incentive to try. We could try offer incentives to help Apple Core from
Apple Core's
encourage them
statement
to use
was
the
that
core
since they are
cure, not core.
Apple Core's statement was that
Before we
since
start
they
just
are
insulting them
immune,
in
they
the
don't
mind
want to use
or
it.
the
There is stated reasoning as to why they wouldn't accept
well,
the
apparently Apple
quarantine.
Core is now saying that they wanted to.
Their stated reasoning behind why they wouldn't accept the sanitization protocol was that their drug smugglers were upset that their drugs might
Okay,
get
well, Hunter,
stolen.
why we have you here?
I want you to understand what my position is here. When you guys are painting me as a villain, Apple Core has at every turn rejected offers of peace. Even our
Apple
final
Core,
offer had to be
we're gonna
paid
have
for.
Light up to speak. Actually, no, wait, let me say this now. I got Light up.
I'll let
In a
Light
sense, you are
speak.
trying to kind of bend the will of Polaris to the Neon Coast. But I do think that we can find a way out of this that doesn't involve just warfare. Hunter, how would you feel about if we just set up customs like you see at airports or
like the
state
stuff
borders,
that drug dealers
sponsored
try
by
to
the
get around
league, all
all the
paid for
time.
by the league, built by the league?
The drug dealers that are actively rejecting every sanitization
Well, then-
protocol.
Poor Polaris is, surrounded by a wall, and
Do you think the the Orvex Road that's under international law? What's preventing a drug smuggler from using that? Which Apple Core can and will use.
well, it's not actually
And that's what I'm
there
saying
is no
here.
international law at the moment, but you could, if you had a customs duty, then you can use that to find the drugs. We're gonna get Light up now to speak. Hunter, I don't know if she wants to speak to you specifically. Welcome, Light.
Hi again. Okay, so
Hello.
I just wanted to say that the cure has been proven successful. I do have a potential donor that is trying to get the cure from just a fertilizer to a actual injectable cure for the people. It does officially have a price now. It is listed in the form. Other than that, I have offered to give Has the cure for a cheaper price. She said she'd let me know whenever she was available and around.
I think if maybe the league sponsored like distributing the cure around Apple Core, so Has intimidated by the price, and then Hunter is.
Yeah, so the price goes by the pound because it is a fertilizer. So 1 pound is 10 diamonds, half a pound is 5. I offered to give Has a full pound for 3 diamonds. She said she'd be in contact so that she can sterilize her goods. We also have another a pound is 64. We also have another policy and act that states that goods cannot come into Wishlight without our special seal that states that it has been used with fertilizer.
A lot of people are saying how the cure should be free and that this is a ploy to enrich the Wishlight Kingdom.
I'm sorry, one more time?
A lot of people have brought up the point that it should be free and that the selling of the cure. Oh, welcome,
She's
Alman.
gatekeeping sanitization.
To
Yes,
be fair,
Empire
has
Gatekeeping to the
condemned
Foundation.
the action of trying to sell the cure to make a cheap buck in these times of great need. You cannot just do this. Imagine if you tried to make, money from the Black Plague. That's not gonna work, dude. You gotta make sure that your people don't fucking
May
die.
I make a
You
statement?
cannot just do this. You cannot make money off of a virus. Make it free.
May I make a
Make
statement?
it
real
free.
quick?
no.
Make
I'm not the.
Polaris will literally end the virus in 10 seconds after this
I'm not the
war.
type of person to talk over
Oh,
people. So
Jesus.
go ahead.
Polaris, the only reason why the virus is still around is due to Apple Corp's refusal to remove the flowers from the capital. When the flowers are removed, the virus goes away. The only reason that the virus is still ongoing is because Apple Corp is unwilling to remove a flower for the good of other countries. I'm gonna quiet down, you guys can talk again.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have a
Hunter,
question.
we have Jesus here now, as well.
If the cure is funded right now, the only people that have
I'm waiting.
helped is Light, which is myself. The only people that have helped is myself and my own researchers and developers. If the cure was funded through other people, if other nations helped, yes, it would be either cheaper or free. But seeing that I am the only person that has curated the cure and I have the only team that has worked on it, yes, it costs money. How do you think other nations got the vaccine for COVID? It was funded for them to get it for free. So yes, it costs money. Yes, you can help fund it.
Actually,
Yes,
I'm
you
pretty
can
sure
help
all the
fund it.
vaccines were made privately.
Yeah, there's also that. The vaccines were made by corporations.
And
for
did it cost?
COVID-19.
Did it cost?
A little bit, yeah.
Well, yeah, it costs. See?
Except it
Money.
eventually became free.
Well, yeah, eventually
Yeah,
when it's
but-
not as big of a problem, yes, it will become free. But as of right now, it is a heavy issue. And it's not going to be free unless we are funded, considering we are the only
Are you a
person.
corporation? Are you a corporation, Light? Be honest.
Yeah, but like, is your science division owned by the state? Yes or no?
I have curated my own science division. All
Nah,
of my
that's not.
people-
That's not my question. It's not my
Owned by
question.
what state? Wishlight?
Yeah, is the science division owned by the state? Yes or no?
I'm going to need you to go more in depth on that.
Is your science what is your science division that developed the cure that developed the vaccine owned by the state of the kingdom of the light kingdom wishball whatever you're called hooba waba dooba dooba? Do you own it as the leader?
My problem is the fact that she's owned by the state. This is a
No, yes or no?
role play on.
Yes or no?
It's a yes or no.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
I'm not the person to talk over people. So as soon as you shut the fuck up, I can go ahead and continue my conversation.
Yes or no?
Mufaka.
Are you done?
If you do not answer the question correctly, then you do have the right to overspeak.
Give him the talking stick.
Okay.
Talking stick.
As I was
I
saying,
have the permanent marker.
not the permanent marker. As I was saying, Wishlight did fund. They own the people that created the cure because they work under me.
Oh yes, it is state-owned.
If I am using my own resources to do something, yes, I want to charge for it, unless I am getting help.
I do believe that is evil.
That's evil.
Evil?
And that's coming from the Empire, dude. That's evil.
Wait, no, we've gone way off track. Whatever about this paying for a thing is evil. We're trying to stop a war. I believe that was our original point.
Yeah, but
Anyway.
vaccines.
This is
The
part of the
original point,
discussion.
I offered Hayes a discounted price of the cure. She said she'd be in touch. That was my point.
Welcome.
How much does it cost to make it, to produce it locally?
I haven't decided that yet. You see, lore,
So then how are you
Can I
supposed
have
to
one
market it?
right now?
you say you have one,
Right now?
like a pound?
a stack of pounds?
Yes, you can have a pound.
64 pounds.
I have 64 pounds.
Quick question: how much?
You can have a pound of the cure for 10 diamonds because that is the price.
All you people
Out
at home
of
tonight.
Again, I do think this has gotten very off topic from the war we are supposed to be solving.
out of
Let them
RP terms
communicate.
because it is Hayes's infection. It's her virus. I consulted with Hayes. We came up on a price that would be fair for a cure for her virus. So yes, these are the prices. Because it's not my lore to determine how much it should cost.
This is all I'm worth.
Hell.
That's not true. I don't want to. I don't want to open my shulker box. Mostly because because I'm in creative, if I put it down, then I'll have 2 shulker boxes, and then I'll just have double the amount of diamonds that I had beforehand, which is just like
I don't know how much you
inflation.
gave
Oh,
me because I had diamonds in my inventory.
I gave you 30. That's £3.
Where'd you go? Okay, back on topic. Sorry.
Trading, sorry. Oh, ew.
Who died?
And he didn't have a death message. It was just death.
Somebody slash killed, bro.
Murked.
Happened.
There was no message. What type of death was that? Instant. What kind? Instant.
So okay.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
Polaris. I feel like it's very very easy. You just set up a customs. It's not that deep to be
Yeah,
so real
I
with you.
think if
Like it's not
the
a problem
problem-
with the state of Apple Core. It's a problem with the people within Apple Core, and you cannot force
Apple
the people
Core
to do
stated how
something
the
without
flower
enforcing
is,
yourself.
the flower is culturally and religiously important to them.
Also, it's literally a flower. Like,
Yeah, Light, it was nice having you. We're gonna move you back to audience, and we're gonna get Hunter up instead, just to not get it too crowded. Welcome Hunter, whenever he joins.
the leader.
Like we could just easily set up customs. Like the league can do it for you. It won't take up that much room. I think it'll be a move in the right step for everyone. Yeah, I think burning their like religious symbols
I think that
is not a good idea or good solution, or going to war for this. Oh, welcome Hunter.
dude. Apple Core is creating and spreading a virus that they could destroy at any time for the destruction or curing of these flowers. I didn't even ask for them to burn them. They just had to sanitize them so they would stop creating the infection. But they refused to do that because it's of no risk to them and of much risk to everyone else. Hasbin is intentionally creating an issue here. And I'm not going to bend the knee for somebody who is intentionally creating an issue and refusing to solve it because it might negatively affect their business. To me, it would all. I'm going to make a baseless assumption real quick.
Oh, Hunter, what would you view as like a
Can I
solution?
make something I noticed real quick? It's weird that one nation possesses the cure and is selling it for profit,
go on.
and another nation just so happens to be refusing any attempts to cure the virus and is trying to continue to ship things. It kind of reads to me like they are creating
Cure
an
only
issue
came
to
out
solve
like
it
a
for
few days
profit.
ago, right?
No. Yeah, well, I mean, the first person that was offered it was Hasbin, who rejected it. It was possible to end the infection entirely, but they refused to.
This guy's tinfoil hat
She
is
is
on
saying that
properly.
she did not, in fact, reject it, and I don't recall seeing her rejecting it.
They said they didn't need it.
I've never seen her reject the.
If you look at the message in the chat,
I never
about
saw it.
Okay, if you go to the message about the cure being made, very bottom of that message says that Hasbin of Apple Core has rejected the cure, stating they do not need it because they are immune. It literally says that in the first message about the cure that was ever made.
Okay, hang on. I don't.
To me, I want this war to happen just so that I can get rid of these flowers and end the virus. Hasbin has shown.
But if the
time and
flowers
time
are
again,
culturally and religiously significant, then I don't think it should just be ended.
then they should cure them. but I shouldn't pay them to cure a virus. Because that's what they are asking of me. Their conditions to cure it is that I pay them for them to cure it, which I do not want to do.
Okay, how about alternatively, no one pays, no one does anything, and the League buys the cures for Polaris, so then you no longer have the issue when the goods get to Polaris, and then
So I should
Applecore
continue
gets
getting
to have
infected
the
and having
religious.
to cure myself, rather than me
But
just
it's not
eliminating the
infected.
source.
We will
The source is right
imagine.
there.
Okay, imagine
and
a
that's
ship
the
comes
issue.
in. Imagine okay, but the source is respected and loved by the people of Applecore. Imagine an Applecore ship
Incurable.
comes into
You don't
Port
need
Polaris, goes to a quick room,
Here's the thing.
goes to a.
Here's the thing. Nobody said that the cure destroys the
if you
flowers. The flowers would be there still, just no longer poisonous. But Applecore has refused that. Applecore is intentionally
still,
spreading this virus, and they threatened
I don't
bioterrorism
see
in the
how
past.
that's a compromise. It's like the ship of Theseus. If you get rid of parts of the flowers, like if you get rid of like the genes of the flowers, I don't see how it's the same flower. We could have,
Okay, can I make a
because
final
Polaris doesn't
statement?
find it religiously significant. So if you could
May I
just
say my thing?
like when a ship arrives in Port Polaris, you no, hang on, let me speak. When a ship comes, no, imagine
Hunter,
okay,
let
when
them
you go
finish.
to a different country, when you go to a different country, you go through like customs, right? Imagine that, but the goods from Applecore go through customs, get cured, and before they're released to the public, are cured, and then the issue is solved for you, and the issue is solved for Has. Does that sound like a good
May I
compromise
make
for
my
you?
final
Because I don't
statement?
see how you still get affected.
Polaris
Does that mean
will
you
not
just did
end
not
this
listen to
war
anything I
until
said?
the virus is gone.
That's what it feels
That is
like.
my final statement. I will not be making compromises with a nation that refuses to engage with my compromises. I will not be losing money for myself, having to buy a cure for the rest of my life at a price that is arbitrary, in exchange for another nation being allowed to ship drugs into my borders, which is what you guys are asking me to do.
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
When
If
you're, I
if
made
it's
my
cured
statement
before
clear.
it ever gets
This is
into your
what will
nation,
occur.
then you are not sick.
I will not be ending this war until the virus is cured. That is my final statement.
I'm personally of the belief that if it's culturally significant, then we can't do anything about that, and that's simply how it is. If Hunter wants to listen to that, then I don't know. I'll be back in a moment.
So what's next?
Hi, sorry about that brief intermission. Okay, well, I suppose that's that point dealt with. Hunter, you haven't. I don't think you've listened to what I've said. You won't have to pay. We will just set up a customs, and then virtually none of the virus will get into Polaris, because we can't just get rid of it because it's culturally significant for Apple Core. That's like you can't just get rid of it. Like the virus won't be in your country. You don't have to pay for anything. You have a wall around your city. How do they get drugs above the wall? Welcome, Hunter, back.
Maybe the giant road you guys built
Hello.
through it that obeys international laws, where international law
The
doesn't have
road
any strict.
isn't giant. It's
Hey, does
three blocks wide. You
does
could
the road
easily
have
put a
any
gate.
restrictions
You could
on
easily put a gate.
drugs?
Or you could-
If not, then it's
That's why we're
completely
supposed to
legal
draft
to have
legislation, and if not,
drugs on
you
you
could just
when you're traveling
put
on
a
the road.
wall. You could put a gate up or a guard up.
I've made my stance very clear.
And that's also perfectly legal for Polaris to put up a
I've
guard on the
made-
road, but have they done that? No, they just want to go to war.
I have made my stance clear. If the virus is
A
cured,
man would like to speak.
I want to make that clear. It's that I'm not going to
Oh,
settle for
you-
less than the cure. That's what I want. That's what I want out of this. This is why I'm at war. I'm not going to let
Okay.
has-been
But
have what
if
they
the-
want,
What
and
if
I
the
don't get what I
cure
want.
is in Polaris?
The cure in Polaris means that the
Why
virus
are you
keeps
trying
coming
to impose
in.
your will on the?
Because we're not immune to it and they are.
But you could just.
Every member of
But you
Apple
could
Corps
just
won't
set it
suffer,
more-
but my people will suffer. But Apple Corps will not.
You could just set up the defenses in your country to not be suffering.
So I should
Have you thought
blockade
of that
them
instead of
so
just
that
going
the
to
goods
war?
don't leave, which is what I
No.
did, but then you guys called me warmongers.
Or you just cure the imports coming in.
Or I cure the virus, which is
Or-
what I'm doing. I'm making that very clear. I agreed to mediation. I didn't agree to end this war. If Has-Been cures the virus, I won't have any reason for this debate to continue. But if you guys are expecting me to kneel to my new foreign oppressors who can keep spreading a virus that won't
Aren't
affect them into
expecting
my
you to
walls,
kneel, we're expecting you to not overreact.
I will not be backing down until it is cured. And that's what I want. That's all I want is that Has-Been
But you can
gets
cure it for
rid
other
of the
people,
virus.
'cause for
I
those
don't want to
people, they
cure. I don't want to keep having to cure everything because the virus is still there and it will continue to affect me. It's not a one and done virus. I would be in debt for the rest of my life having to buy a new cure every time. Unless you
Well,
guys
that's why
are
the legal
expecting,
subsidize it, and
unless
then
you
you don't
guys
have to be
have
in debt.
10,000 diamonds sitting around where you can pay 5 diamonds every single time an Apple Core ship leaves port. Which is what you'll have to do. Pay 5
Guess
diamonds. every
who
time it-
does? Who?
Do you have 5 diamonds for
Do
every
you
time
need
Apple
a
Core
loan
ship
of
leaves?
like 500?
I don't want to pay.
How many Apple Core ships are you expecting a day?
I'm saying, well, every single
How
drug
many
smuggler
Then why
Apple
don't
coming
Core
you
out of
ships
Apple
are you
Core-
expecting
Why don't you
daily?
stop imports with Apple Core?
I can't. They have drug smugglers who will not obey
So how many
legal
restrictions?
restrictions. And every time a drug
How
smuggler
many daily?
smuggles a
How many
drug through my
daily?
borders,
How many daily?
I'm gonna
How
have
many
to pay
daily?
5 diamonds. And I don't want to do that. I want them to cure it. And that's why I'm at war. Because they need to cure
How
it
many
and
daily?
they're refusing to
How
unless
many
I
daily?
force them.
How many daily? How many daily?
If Has-Been cures the virus,
Um,
there will be no
How many
war.
daily?
Has
How many
made
bucks
up
daily?
the has brought the point is that how are they supposed to afford it? How is Has supposed to afford to cure it?
They would only need
Polaris
to cure
can't,
it
a
once.
big, wealthy
They would just
country.
need to-
Maybe if they weren't broke.
You know the giant center of the disease
Thank you,
wave
the
in their
leader.
capital? If they cure that, there will be no more virus ever. That's the only place that the
Okay,
virus
no, no,
comes
no.
from is the giant batch of roses in their capital. If that's gone, the virus is gone, and no one will ever need to pay for a cure again. What part about that are you missing? I will give you 5 diamonds to buy the one-time cure if you just cure the fucking plants in your capital. I will
Because
let you. I
they
will
don't
buy
want to
you the
it, because
cure.
In their mind, it is not a disease.
I
For Apple
Hunter.
Core, they don't want to cure it.
They could not want to, but
The
that's what
Stella
the force
Assembly
of-
actually has the plant itself in its grounds.
Then cure it.
Hunter. No, because it's also religious significant for us as well.
I'm trying to think of an example. Like
So, you
you earlier had a Diet Coke. You know it's dangerous, but you have it so much that it's not dangerous. Like it's not going to kill you because you're having it every day, and you accept that it's dangerous,
Oh
but you
no!
like it.
All
and it's important to you.
Applecorians has been to say this. All Applecorians are completely immune to the effects of the virus because it's been 70 years since it broke out there. Everybody
Yeah, so
else
are we.
will
We are still
no.
used to spice and chemicals. If we're immune.
Everybody else in the entire server, except for Applecorians, will get sick and die if they come into contact with this plant. It seems to me like the issue here are the people who worship fucking death. Should we allow the people who worship the
Look at
Witherstorm to
spice,
summon the
look at spice.
Witherstorm?
There's some cultures. There's
Yeah,
some culture.
You know, there's also that
where they
culture
still
that
want-
worships the
there's
Witherstorm.
some
Should we let them
cultures
summon it?
that are-
Is it
No,
their
what?
right to summon the
The
giant
Wither-
thing
what?
that kills everyone?
Okay. If you could let me speak, please. If you could let me speak, please. If you could let me, that's not what this is.
Just
Okay.
kick it from the stage momentarily.
Yeah. Sorry, Hunter. But, okay. Think of it this way. There's some cultures which really love spice, and a lot of other people who aren't used to it who would, be fucked over. Like, they'd start sweating or, like, panting or whatever the fuck happens. But, like, we just don't eat that spicy stuff that we can't handle. Not because, like, sure, we could be like, oh, it's dangerous to us. Hi, I'm back. What is the Witherstorm? No, it's different.
How is it different? It's his religion, and we need to respect people's religions, right? It's his religion.
Because
it's
you have the means to stop it. You have the means to stop it.
So we don't let that guy summon the Witherstorm. Isn't that great? But isn't it his religion that he should be allowed to do that? And even if it negatively affects the rest of us, we don't really have to let him, but we should because it's his religion, right? You're saying that this country's religion.
Are you devout to your whatever religion you believe in? If you do.
We believe in the stars, and it's just kind of our religion.
No.
It's just what we believe in.
No, okay. You believe in the Lord and Savior Celestian? Bah. No, sorry. I got streamed to character for a
too
moment.
much thought into it, to be honest. But what I'm saying is,
No, you in real life, IRL,
No, not really.
do you believe in?
No, not really.
Okay, so then you obviously don't understand what you're trying to do. Then you know what I mean? Like you just,
So
it's not in your mental capacity
I almost mentioned fucking Israel. We should
to
probably
understand ritual.
We should cut this before. We should probably cut this before
It's-
we fucking.
It's
get to
it's
that
not a real
topic.
place.
Hey,
No,
I just
no, no,
I just want you guys
no.
to be made aware. I just made a deal with Hasbin that probably just ended this whole thing. I'm giving them money so that they can cure it.
That's literally what they did to me.
Thank you.
That's it. Yeah, I'll take a Neon Cat statue. Yeah, except if they don't do it, then I will actually bomb them. I don't give a shit. If they take my money and then they don't do the thing that I gave them money. Hold on, I just said that really poorly. You know what I'm saying? If I pay them to do a thing and then they don't do that thing, I will just genuinely firebomb them. But I don't want to do that. The Empire is peaceful. The Empire is prosperous. We don't want to do violence, but violence is sometimes necessary.
That's
This is
all.
not a time where it's necessary. This is a time when diplomacy and peacefulness and whatever the fuck.
Anyways, that's the end of the meeting because they've decided to that their rights are more important than my rights, and now I get jack shit except bad relations.